to bring about efficiency in the health sector. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Colleagues, as required under our rules, I'll be appointing a time for debating these reports. And clerk, please check through. We have several reports which we have not yet debated and adopted. We don't need to keep them hanging that much. Thank you. Next item.
Item 5 on the order paper, motion for adoption of report of the Committee on Information, Communications Technology and National Guidance on the Uganda Communications Universal Service and Access Fund.
Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to first congratulate you upon being elected as the chair of African, Caribbean, and Pacific EU President. Right Honorable Speaker, as a parliament...
And I'm a full president. No, just you add on joint parliamentary
president. Right Honorable Speaker, would want to congratulate you and thank you, because that raised the bar of this parliament very high. And we thank you for this parliament and the country very high. And we want to thank you that we wish you good luck as you deliver in ensuring that the opportunities for African, Caribbean, and Pacific in funding and development is achieved within your time. Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand to present a report of the Committee on Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance on the Uganda Communication Universal Service Access Fund, UCOSAF. Right Honorable Speaker, before I proceed, I wish to lay on table the report of the committee and the minutes on table. I beg to lay. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, in accordance with the Rule 189E of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament, which mandates sectoral committees to monitor the performance of ministries, departments, and agencies, and Committee on Information, Communication Technology, and National Guidance undertook a field oversight visit on the implementation of Uganda Communication Universal Service and Access Fund, UCOSAF, by Uganda Communication Commission, and beg to report. Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to give the House the background of the UCOSAF project and UCC. Uganda Communication Commission was established under the legal framework of Uganda Communication Act number 1 of 1997 and the Electronic Media Act of 1996, and operates as an integrated regulatory body overseeing various sectors including telecommunication, data communication, broadcasting, postal communication, radio communication, and infrastructure services throughout Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, in partnership with the World Bank, civil society, and private sector, Uganda Communication Commission established the Rural Communication Development Fund, RCDF, in 2001 as a semi-autonomous entity functioning as a department in line with Uganda Communication Act 1997. The fund was majorly set up to contribute to the realization of the universality in access and use of communication services in Uganda through establishment of communication projects in areas that are non-commercially viable or left unserved or underserved by market operations. And since its inception, increased ICT connectivity, it increased ICT accessibility, improved affordability, and ensured equity. The fund has been implemented over 3 5-year phases, with the RCDF-1 from 2002 to 2003, extending voice access to unserved and underserved areas, RCDF-2 from 2009 to 2016, which extended voice and basic internet access to underserved and unserved rural areas, and RCDF UCOSAF 3 from 2016 to 2023, which promoted the use of ICT through broadband connectivity and access, content mediation and research, and advocacy. Right Honorable Speaker, the goal of UCOSAF is to bridge the digital divide and ensure that everyone, regardless of their socio-economic status or geographical location, has access to safe and affordable communication services. The fund is intended at increasing broadband access, enhanced usage of digital devices and services, promotion of ICT application and services, facilitating knowledge and informed decision-making, and enhance multi-sector collaboration. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, UCOSAF project has reported the following achievements. Integrated ICT in education program, which has improved performance in STEMs due to better access to device content and its incorporation into the secondary school curriculum. Increased ICT for agriculture, which has positively impacted growth in the subscription and usage of virtual distributed call centers and agricultural extension services, and growth in agricultural support for online content for farmers. 3, increased internet connectivity with educational institutions and custom border points, bringing down the cost of internet for educational institutions and support to custom e-government services, as well as to less served communities through provision of subsidized internet to school, ICT laboratories through RENU, that is a Research and Education Network Uganda, and the installation of free Wi-Fi hotspots at border points. 4, increased research support, which identified the most pressing gaps and developed interventions that are tailored to the specific needs of the targeted communities. This entailed development of innovative solutions and identification of research needs and priorities related to ICT development and digital transformation, leading to more impactful intervention. And 5, analog to digital migration, with the installation of 18 DTTs, including content aggregation multiplex system, leading to increased creation and consumption of local content and growth in telecom infrastructure from the digital dividend, resulting into more localized community content countrywide. With regards to the performance of the project, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, the committee received report of inadequate budgets, lack of sustainability of the project, new licensing regime which have slowed down infrastructure development, and challenges in hydroelectricity, which is unreliable and at times unavailable. Upon this background, the committee undertook a field visit to assess the performance of UCOSAF project. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I invite you to paragraph 5, under observations and recommendations. The objectives, I thought those ones I would skip them in order to save on time. 5.1, the extent to which UCOSAF project has promoted access to communication services. 1, computer distribution and connectivity support in school. UCOSAF seeks to provide learners with the digital skills, promote creativity and innovation through collaborative usage of ICT, integrate ICT in mainstream discipline, and raise awareness of the importance of ICT for sustainability.
Honorable, I just need some clarification. How was this initiated? This is was initiated by the committee, so it's your field committee report?
Pardon? I beg your pardon?
It's your field visit report?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think, crack, this was captured wrongly. It should have been laid. Okay? And you give us a summary, and then I give a date for update, for discussion. So let us amend so that it's laid. Okay? You will continue from where you had stopped. Just give a summary of recommendations. No, just I want crack. We can, okay.
Laying of papers, report to the Committee on Information, Communications Technology and National Guidance on the Uganda Communications Universal Service and Access Fund.
Thank you. So, Honorable, I'm giving you 2 more minutes for this.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we beg your pardon because we thought this was part of the committee oversight work in overseeing the performance of the sector of ICT. But all the same, I think the recommendation is going to be...
No, Honorable, you see, you do work according to the rules of Parliament, okay? So when you do your field oversight, it's a field committee report, which is provided for under Rule 34. And Rule 34(2) says upon laying the report of the report under Sub-Rule 1, the chairperson or the member shall present a brief summary of the report and highlight the key recommendations contained in the report. 3, the speaker shall appoint a time not exceeding 45 minutes, okay, for debate. So, and 1, the chairperson of, or a member of a committee, or a member acting on behalf of the chairperson of the committee, which travel to the field to conduct parliamentary business, shall lay on a table a report containing activities of the committee's field visit. So this is what we are doing. Yeah. So we have to realign so that we be smarter and cleaner.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker,
the
for the guidance.
Ours. We should have guided from the onset. The problem is not yours.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the guidance. Now going to the observation, which also provides the summary.
Now you go to recommendations because the rules don't allow you to go into observations. Now you're laying. You're no longer having the luxury.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And I'm glad that initially I'd already laid the report, and I want to give now the summary.
Just read
and the recommendation.
An outline of recommendations.
Right Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends that government, through Uganda Communication Commission, increases funding allocation towards ICT in education, specifically computer supply, maintenance, and infrastructure in schools. The programs would be increased to cover the secondary schools to ensure that many other schools benefit from ICT as opposed to the current arrangement where very few schools are supported. And the list for the schools that have benefited have been attached. 2, government through UCC should extend broadband connectivity to all secondary schools. This will eliminate the cost incurred by schools under the program for providing and meeting the cost of internet connectivity. And Right Honorable Speaker, I think this is being covered under UDAP Phase 5. 3, government should extend the national electricity grid to schools in the rural area if they are to benefit from the program like their...
Please switch on, continue.
And then 5, government should consider introduction of ICT programs and lessons in primary schools to ensure that students have fundamental digital skills before enrolling for secondary schools. This can be done in consultation with the Ministry of Education to develop 8 appropriate curriculum. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the committee also recommend that government increase investment in ICT infrastructure so as to extend connectivity. This could also enhance public-private partnership to boost funding in ICT infrastructure. 3, the prosecution of criminals involved in theft and vandalism of telecommunication equipment be enhanced even further. The sentence pronounced on offenders who vandalizes telecommunication equipment should be severe, punitive, and deterrent. The committee further recommends that investment in telecommunication equipment should be undertaken to enhance quality service, assessment of operations, to ensure that measures performance more closely aligned with the subscribers' experience. Committee also recommends that Uganda Communication Commission should consider supporting and reinforcing the extension of electricity grid to all towers, sites, and masts which would reduce the cost of purchase of diesel from sites and construction and contracts for regular transportation of fuel to the sites for the generators, which reduction in cost would reflect in payment of customers' costs. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, committee also recommend that Uganda Communication Commission should engage regulators from the neighboring countries to manage the network frequencies within the borders and avoid overlaps of frequencies into Uganda space. Government should also develop a standardized and streamlined regulatory framework for performing of new telecommunication infrastructure. Right Honorable Speaker, and on the last item in the report, the committee recommends that government should increase funding to programs to ensure that the number of youth who benefit from this training significantly increase. This funding can also be enhanced through partnership and collaboration with the national and international organizations to secure grants and donations in the form of funding to equip to equipment such as computers, cameras, and editing software. Right Honorable Speaker, this we are talking about the multimedia skilling of the youth that was contained in the report. Right Honorable Speaker, on the key challenges that the committee identified, the committee recommended the following on the challenges. Expansion of internet connectivity to private consumer by extending and expanding the fiber optic network would be crucial towards making it more accessible and affordable for all Ugandans through affordable pricing, offering competitive pricing. Due to fixed internet cost charged on national backbone infrastructure, the committee some consumers have opted connectivity from internet service providers including Airtel, MTN, Rocky Telecom, and Research and Education Network for Uganda, who provide flexible connectivity at more affordable prices determined by volumes consumed. Right Honorable Speaker, committee recommend that the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance should ensure that internet connectivity on NBI is expanded to the private consumers at a rate just like government MDAs. This will reduce the cost of internet and enhance adoption to digital agenda. The Ministry of ICT and National Guidance through Uganda Communication Commission should put in place guidance on to personalize the national broadband policy to ensure infrastructure sharing, especially among the internet service providers in both the private and public. This would lower the cost incurred in delivering the service and would trickle down to the formal consumers. Right Honorable Speaker, as of now, internet providers, Canal Box, MTN, each one of them are constructing their own line, putting their own poles running to homes. In your find there are 10 poles, 10 lines going, and yet with NBI, only one line can deliver all this, and this is why the committee is calling upon UCC to take on this. Committee also recommend that there should be a deliberate inter-program coordination between digital transformation and the energy development program to ensure that electricity is extended to all areas where there are ICT installations in the country as a measure to address lack of access to electricity in some areas of the country that has spiked the cost of internet. And government should enhance and emphasize awareness creation through sensitization of the populace on the use of ICT, which will increase ICT intake and consequently reduce internet cost. And finally, Right Honorable Speaker, to conclude, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, UCOSAF has ensured that communication service consumers in Uganda receive quality and reliable services in as well as regulated environment. The program has facilitated enhanced use of communication services, provided a platform for the attainment of an inclusive digital economy and promoted digital transformation. However, there are still glaring gaps in ensuring that this desired outcome is achieved. This partly due to lack of universal access to ICT products and services, inadequate technological advancement, the tax regime, and institutional weaknesses. Committee recommends that government reduces the cost of ICT devices and services by revisiting the tax regime, and that Uganda Communication Commission and other players in the ICT space are fully empowered to improve universal access to ICTs across the country by increasing penetration and the use of ICT services for social and economic development, which will which will then create more direct jobs in the ICT arena. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I beg to report. Thank you.
Thank you. So Honorable Tony defied my directive, decided to continue reporting. So, no, it's on the right note, Honorable. It's not that, yes. So, since he has given us details, Honorable colleagues, and we are going into processing municipal policy statements, these are resolutions which help the committee and the sector when you're processing their statements. So, I think we've gotten substantial information on this issue. We should debate it now. We conclude on it so that it can enable the committee do its work diligently during the process. So the question for debate will be that a motion for adoption of the report of the Committee on Information, Communication, Technology, and National Guidance on the Uganda Communications Universal Service and Access Fund be passed. So, debate starts now. I'll start with Dr. I go to Esenu. I go to Edakas. I go to Ajumani, and then I also pick this side, then I come back here. Each one 3 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And honorable colleagues, I thank the chair and the committee members for the report. The report speaks to a matter of access to information and communication technology and services as a right, fundamental right. There are observations that are being made that allude to, instead of having universal access to ICT in this country in general, and the project sites that have been visited in particular, we still see digital divide. Gap between regions, districts, and communities that have access to ICT services and those that do not have. We appreciate that very recently the government and Parliament approved some resources that were intended to boost investments in both hardware and software to improve access to ICT, and particularly to those that are left behind. The PDM program envisages that we have parish development management information system that is digitally driven. There are many parishes in this country, sub-counties in this country, including districts that have not accessed the fiber optic network, the broadband assets that denies them the right to ICT services. As we adopt this report, Mr. Speaker, sir, it's my prayer that the Ministry of ICT provides this House status update on efforts that are being made to fast track the extension of ICT hard and software